Hey, so in this video, we're gonna be talking about how much it costs me to become a commercial helicopter pilot. So it's a super fair question, but before I answer it, and I'll answer it very shortly, I'm not just a commercial helicopter pilot. So for anyone that doesn't know, to become a commercial helicopter pilot, there's a couple things you need. So you have to get your private pilot certificate. That's the first license you get. And then after that, you can get your commercial pilot certificate. But to become an actual commercial pilot, you need like 2,000 hours of flight time to really get picked up for those commercial jobs. So how do you go from flight school with not that many hours to 2,000 hours to become a commercial pilot? Most people become a flight instructor. So you have to get your private, your commercial, and your flight instructor. Then you work as a flight instructor, build up experience, and then you're a commercial pilot. So all of that to say, I have my private pilot certificate, I have my commercial pilot certificate, and I also have my instructor certificate. I also have my instrument rating and my instructor instrument rating, but don't really worry about that. Those are the licenses I have. Okay, so the top line number of how much it cost me to become a commercial helicopter pilot was $120,000. Absolutely insane. It is kind of ridiculous, but I signed up for it and I'm happy that I did. So the reason why I wanted to become a helicopter pilot is I did not want a real job. I wanted a job where I could have fun and enjoy every day. And I'm really lucky and fortunate that I have that ability now and that I'm living out my dream. So the reason why flight school was so expensive was just because flying is really expensive. And specifically helicopters are so expensive. The cost per hour is anywhere from like $350 to like $600 an hour for a trainer helicopter. And you need something like 200 hours to become a commercial helicopter pilot. So whatever $350 an hour times 200 hours, it's a lot. So the benefit of what I did is I went to Mauna Loa Helicopters and they have a federal student loan helicopter program. So I was able to get a federal student loan for $120,000 and go and get all of my certifications in about a year and a half. So I've got a video right here that I'll link to going into way further detail, but that's the number, $120,000. Now for me, I can justify it and I will really quick. You may be watching this video and be like, oh my God, Devin, you're so stupid. That's like such an insane amount of money. And yes, it is. And this is something I struggle with because I don't know if you guys watch or know of a guy named Dave Ramsey. He's a YouTube personality and he talks about budgets and finances. And he says, do not go into debt. Student loan debt is one of the worst things you can do. And it's so much money and it's gonna be like the biggest problem, and just avoid it. If you wanna be a helicopter pilot, there's ways around it. He would tell you not to go into student loan debt to do this. And so before I went into flight school, I was thinking the same thing. It's like, I am not getting into student loan debt. I do not want debt. I don't want to be burdened by that. But then once I looked at the realm of what I wanted and how I could afford it and the timeline it would take, I could have paid for flight school by working, saving my money, and then building hours real slowly. And that's one way to do it, and lots of people do that and that works. You know, to be a commercial helicopter pilot, if you want to pay per hour, it's going to take you a lot of time. It's going to take you years probably, but that's okay. That's one way to do it without the debt. But for me, the justification I made is the return on investment that I'm going to make. You know, I was able to do this really young at 19. I might have signed for the loans at 18, which is kind of ridiculous to give like an 18-year-old a loan for $120,000. But you know, that's just the student loan world. But I was able to do it at 18, 19, and now I'm 22. And I've already made such a large return on investment. You know, I'm not making like tons of money, but I'm making enough money to be comfortable, and I can pay off the student loans. From now on, I will make enough money to be able to pay off my student loans, at least make my monthly payment and more. So I'm not too worried about the student loans. I'm 22 and I'm already well established into my career, and I'm making fine money, and I will be able to pay off those loans in the not too distant future. But my quality of life is great. I get to live my dream job. I get to share aviation with you fine folks, and there's nothing more I'd want to ever do. So is $120,000 a lot of money to spend to go to flight school? Yes, but also as a helicopter pilot, you've got the potential to make lots of money. And if you get all of your ratings as a helicopter pilot, you can transfer over to the fixed wing world and go fly corporate or the airlines, and you can make even more money. So there will be money you're not going to be broke as a helicopter pilot. You're going to be broke for a while, but on the other side, there will be some money, and then you get to do the best job in the world. And that's the only thing, that's not like the only justification, but it's one of the biggest. You know, it's like, oh, I could die any day, why not do what I love? But it's true. I'm very fortunate that I had the opportunity to take out these loans, and they might be a burden for a while, for a decade, maybe 2 decades, which is, I don't plan on it taking that long, but it might be a burden for a while. But I get to live my dream, and I love what I do every single day. And you know, in this life, you don't have every day guaranteed, so why not do what you enjoy? And I took advantage of the incredible opportunities I had. So for anyone wondering, $120,000, that's the cost, and I can totally justify it. I think it's well worth it. And if you want to be a helicopter pilot, I would say you probably don't have to plan on $120,000, but anywhere from like $80,000 to $100,000 is probably accurate. So if you have any questions about the finances of becoming a helicopter pilot, if you want to do it just like privately, it's going to be cheaper, but to do the full commercial thing, it's going to be expensive. But if you have any questions about how that works, feel free to leave them down in the comments below. I'm happy to answer them. Shoot me a DM on Instagram, and there you go. That's how much it costs. If you found yourself enjoying this video at any time, please smash that like button. It really helps grow the channel, and I will see you guys on the next one. Take care.